Tracy Williams here, your success coach, your results expert. I'm rereading a book that I haven't read in years, Illusions, The Adventures of a Reluctant Messiah, by Richard Bach. You might remember Richard Bach. He wrote Jonathan Livingston Seagull. When I was in high school, Jonathan Livingston Seagull was required reading. And I went on to read, I loved it so much, I went on to read some of Richard Bach's other work, this being one of them. And I picked it up recently. And there's a quote I'd like to share with you. I'm getting toward the end of the book, and this particular quote says, "The mark of your ignorance is the depth of your belief in injustice and tragedy. What the caterpillar calls the end of the world, the master calls the butterfly." What is he saying here to us? The mark of your ignorance is the depth of your belief in injustice. Well, we see what appears to be injustice and tragedy all around us every day, don't we? And yet we have a choice. Are we going to see that as a justice or a tragedy? Or are we able to see what might be beyond that? Are we able to see that that might be the beginning of something much greater? That might be what needed to happen in order for something greater to emerge? Yeah. When you and I experience failure, it very often seems like the end. It seems like the effort was for naught. We didn't know how to do it. We should be turning back. We should be taking another path. That didn't work. But we have a choice. We have a choice in every single matter. We can take the attitude of the caterpillar, and that it's the end, or we can take the attitude of the butterfly, that it's the beginning. We can use that as a stepping stone. You know, Thomas Edison had thousands of what the external world might call failures, and yet Thomas Edison said he didn't have any failures. All he had was feedback. You see, we have that opportunity. In every situation, there's a lesson to be learned. I read recently in another book that there are no failures. If anything was learned, it wasn't a failure. And indeed, in every situation, something is learned. So if we take what is learned and we use it to move us forward in the direction of our next step, then it's not a failure, is it? Think of an injustice, a tragedy, or a failure that you've experienced. Think of the lesson. Bring it to mind right now, the lesson that you've learned. So even if you weren't grateful for the event, you can be grateful for the lesson that was learned, because that lesson, you can now take that and use it to point you in the direction of the next best step toward your vision. See me on Facebook. Send me a text. Send me an email. Let me know what beautiful lesson you have mined out of what you used to think was a failure or a tragedy. Here's to the butterfly in you.